got sued by Apple. Talking about this, but
extremely traumatized one. Comfort does not build unicorn.
Worst years in venture.
Why you? Why now? Why these categories?
Trump has caused.
This is going to be very controversial.
All right, welcome to Silicon Zombies. We're bringing the best brains from the Bay and beyond. We've got two powerhouses in the audience here, on stage, and we're going to be talking about technology. We're going to be talking about investments, and more importantly, unlocking alpha. So we got a pretty exciting book announcement, all sorts of good stuff too. So without any further ado, I want to do a quick shout out to our friends at Necodex. That's Necodex. If you're looking to build a product or if you're looking to build a service and you need help, either with humans
or agents, this is your team to talk to. So be sure to include their information in the show notes. Well, we're at the beautiful Park James Hotel. We've got two amazing speakers here, two delicious brains. So without any further ado, Simon Lancaster, Sophie, it's really exciting to have both of you. Please kick us off here.
Yeah,
Simon, tell us about yourself and don't hold back. Brag.
Really happy to be back on the show, but since it's my third time, I'm going to let Sophie go first with her introduction.
What a gentleman and a scholar.
Okay. Third time on the show. Really excited to have seen the evolution. It's been incredible. But Sophie, if you don't mind, I'll let you go first. Or if you want to,
Come on.
Hey everyone. So Simon Lancaster. I'm founding general partner at Omni Ventures. We are a niche venture capital fund. And as Nick mentioned, I'm launching a book called Unlocking Alpha that will be released early September. It should be on Amazon. We just finished the final manuscript.
What happens when they scan that QR code?
Yeah, so Unlocking Alpha, The Rise of the Niche VC is the book, and it's about VCs like us that focus on early stage founders that are the true alpha generators in venture capital. And if you scan that QR code and send me your email address, I promise not to spam you, but I will send you a free copy of the book when it's released in early September.
All right. Hey, thank you. Anything else you want to say about yourself? We'll get to that. We'll get to that one. I want to hear from Sophie. Not from Pepper, please.
I thought I got invited because I really have a zombie brain right now. So I just landed from Tokyo today, so I'll try my best. My name is Sophie Liao. I am general partner and founding partner of a fund called Republic Ventures. It's a rebrand of my first three funds called Oyster Ventures. So I'm a first generation immigrant that launched my fund once as a solo woman GP. I think that itself shows there's a lot of pain and a lot of gains like today that I get to meet so many amazing folks that here interested in technology, just like why I moved to Silicon Valley for, and meet friends everywhere like Simon. And also what I really enjoy about my job, I'll kick it start because I know today is more about Q&A. My job is all about begging people for money
and then begging people to take your money.
Exactly. So at some point, I'm like, what is the meaning of my job? We have to give a meaning of our jobs, right? So I think it's about liquidity, efficiency, and close the loop. So, why do we create wealth? To create more wealth, to help people to create more wealth. I think that's at core why I want to be a VC, and even at the toughest market that's still trying to, launch or raise a new fund, knowing how tough it is. So I think I get a lot of joy of asking wealthy people the right questions that give me money I can always learn, even if they say no. And then I allocate money to founders that hopefully they're the best of the class, and I always learn something. So that's what keeps me going at today. Now I'm at Fund 4. So
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We can dive a little bit deeper into, the ins and outs of how to ask people for money. But maybe more importantly, there's about 2% of female GPs, probably less for solo female GPs. So what's your experience like, and where are things headed?
I think I want to express that one, female or not, being a solo GP or just being early stage GP is really tough. It's getting tougher and tougher. But being a woman GP, I think I did not really think of 10 years ago when I launched my fund. I sold my company, have few million in my bank account, too little to retire, too much to just put in a bank account and enjoy 3% interest rate. That's what, but I was really, really inspired by folks around me that it's like, oh, this is a gold rush. Let me also invest in technology instead of putting money in the dumb asset class. So that's how I got into it. And later organically developed a thesis called democratization of private assets, because starting from myself, if I have some money I want to invest, people like me, they are starting company, they want to invest in high yield asset class, but nowhere to go, nowhere to manage, nowhere to get liquidity other than praying for IPO. So this is all my fund focus is serving people like myself and the future generation if they want to compound more wealth, right? And yeah, long story. So as a woman GP, I did not realize when you start a company, you have a product to sell. You always raise money based on your product. But when you're a woman GP or just a GP like Simon's too, you productize yourself. It's your intelligence, your insights, your network, how you present yourself, how you answer questions, and all of that become a fund. And it's kind of like a little daunting for me right now. I'm not gonna lie. It's not all glamorous going to VC summer vacation in Europe. Nobody's, or ringing the bells in NASDAQ. I productize myself for so long. Sometimes you're lost in the weeds. It's like, oh, what am I doing? Yeah. So.
All right. Well, there's a lot of people here who are looking for funding, and I guess the most obvious question.
Your check first.
Yeah. Right. And also in this question, talk about exactly what type of things you fund, but how do you evaluate founders? Like, how do you decide who's worth betting on, especially if the markets are uncertain? And within that, give us a green flag that makes you lean in and a red flag that makes you sort of step back. And if you have like some concrete examples, that would be amazing.
Yeah, so to answer that properly, I need to give a little bit of context. So our firm was born out of being in industry for many years. I was at Apple for 15 years, went to a startup, scaled startup, got sued by Apple, survived that, built this firm while getting sued by Apple, and a lot of hard lessons, which I'm not the proudest moments of my life, but proud that I've gotten this far and built this firm doing that. So with that context and the fact that we are an industry-specific firm, I consider a Hilltop Advantage firm or a niche firm, which I talk about in our fund, leveraging our experiences. And the way I define niche in the book is a combination of three factors. One is mastery of a particular trade or industry. Second is focus, either focus on that specific area of expertise or focus on your thesis. And then third, network effect. I think you can be strong in some and weak in the other, but as long as you're not zero in any one of those three, you will be considered a niche VC and you will generate alpha. So when we look at founders from that experiential lens, we are looking for number one, founders that are within our area of expertise, which is manufacturing tech. I'm sure we can talk about all the politics happening right now in the boom in manufacturing. So that's first. They need to be building within our niche. That's an easy one. Second, they need to be great, not just at building, but at selling. So we are not a 12-year horizon deep tech fund. We're something that maybe I would describe as near frontier deep tech. So all of our founders need to have deep tech experience, but their go-to-market is relatively short, like 3 to 5 years. And that provides liquidity and DPI, and we can get into all this.
I want to double click. Walk us through the exact moment that you found out you were getting sued by Apple. What was going through your mind? We're starting with this. Was it a telegram, or did you?
This is first time I'm talking about this, but it was a text message actually from a reporter. So. Yeah. But I can't really get into any other details, but yeah, that's how I found out. And I was at Apple for 12 years. And after that, I built a startup for several years and scaled them to almost Series C. They raised at $290 million shortly after I left because I was head of business development. Didn't make sense for me to do that role anymore. Yeah. So yeah, I started this firm. Maybe you could say, some people say, from -1, right? And the anchors in our fund, of which now we have $2, $3, $5 million checks, and soon hopefully bigger ones. They realize that we built this through incredible resilience.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the reasons I invited Sophie as well, because she's been through some tough times as well with lawsuits and stuff. I won't mention, but
We don't have enough time for this today.
It's
too long.
So back to the question.
Back to the question.
In an area that we think is booming, manufacturing tech. That's kind of macro.
Yeah.
Good at building and selling, and then resilient and able to survive many pivots, which pre-seed founders will do. And we write first checks. We write big ass first checks, like up to $1 million.
How big is big ass?
Oh, yeah. Up to $1 million. So there's several founders here that have just recently received 800K checks from us, or term sheets.
It sounds like a plant. Do you have any portfolio companies?
We have several. You can raise your hand. I think there's at least 2 or 3 founders. If you guys don't mind raising your hand, just 2 of them. Max.
How much do they give you?
Max. One had to step out for a QT parent-teacher conference. But anyway, okay.
So Simon invests in entrepreneurs that are doing the dirty, the dull, the dangerous. Is that right?
It's one way to look at it. I like to think of it as like the boom caused by our friend Trump. But last year we were saying the dirty, dull, and dangerous.
All right, well, just a simple question. Are you betting on the person or are you betting on the market opportunity?
Just to double click on Simon, that looking for folks that has resilient, like he is a GP who comes with an incredible amount of resilience, right? So when I look for founders, I think, how do I put this in a polite way? We're live broadcasting.
It doesn't have to be that polite.
I don't want to get
It's
canceled.
just Simon.
Okay, all right. So I'm looking for the founder to have that type of grit and consistency and persistence and drive that comes from either from a wildly supportive childhood or extremely traumatized ones. There's no middle ground because comfort does not build unicorn. That's what I found. We have to go extreme pain to stay long and survive in this industry as a GP as well. Because GPs were GPs, right? Founders of a fund. We're a startup founder too. It's, fund 4 is Series C ready. Fund 1 is seed round, So it's the same thing. I'm more filtering out the humanity and the drive because you cannot predict how the market cycle shifts. 100% of the time, startup are going to pivot. When you pivot, I want looking for the souls that in this for the right reason, that's strong enough to go through all the, yeah.
I would love to know how much money is in your funds. How much you got? Tell us.
Yeah, so we're a $25 million fund. We're now oversubscribing with the help of some great. Like to Sophie's point, it was rough. 23, 24 were like the worst years in venture to raise a fund. So those that are now deploying and that have survived that, have done well. We're oversubscribing now until the end of November, trying to hit our hard cap.
I have not finished fundraising for this new fund yet. I can tell you fund 1, 2, 3. Fund 1, just my own money because nobody believed in me. Close to $5 million. It was a lot for someone who's in the mid-20s that I'm like, so hey, I'm still here. Sorry. Fund 2 is $8 million with high net worth individual family offices. Fund 3 is 25. Fund 3 had a hiccup that almost got canceled. I have to rebrand and launch a new fund again. This new fund is still raising. Target is 50. We just got an anchor, so yeah.
Can we talk about that anchor? So Simon had mentioned what a meaningful moment it was to find that first anchor LP, because it's like somebody that's really believing in you and provides that foundation to get to the next step. So who was that the first LP? What was that conversation like? What was going through your head when they gave you the thumbs up?
The newest, Fund 1, I give myself a thumbs up. So. It was scary. Fund 2, I will make it really short. I pitched to a billionaire where the table is all really big, like first tier name GPs on the same table. And everyone gets to answer a question. every time it comes to my turn, they skip me because I'm the only woman GP. Looks slightly like Hello Kitty. So it was 6 years ago. So I have a lot of. I mean, my first job, I was in news. I was working for a television station, documentary filmmaking, travel show hosting. So I have very exaggerating facial expression. I've learned to tune down a lot. So they skipped me. And I was like, okay, this is not a battle I have to fight because they already have pre-registered impression. I am someone's assistant. I'm, this Hello Kitty don't know much. So I said, thank you, goodbye. And then the billionaire asked me, oh, where are you going? I said, I'm going from Woodside, Uber myself to San Francisco. I have to fly to New York. He said, I'm going to fly to Singapore. I can give you a ride later because it's impossible. So people live in Woodside has cars and drivers. So, he gave me a ride. I have exclusive 30 minutes to pitch him. He asked me 3 questions, which huge question about security law, intel to fintech. That's what I do. About tokenization, about ICO. That was 2018. He said, why you, why now, why these categories? Which has absolutely nothing to do with my investment thesis, by the way. I'm like, okay. So he said 16 hours, I will be landing in Singapore. Gave me a report, bilingual, Chinese and English, and said, if I like the report, we'll do a call. I anchor you. If not, please, peace, goodbye. I did not sleep. That was close to Christmas. And then I made it, and then I sent it to him. That was it. He gave me $8 million. And crazy story, I never saw him ever again. Translate to me is, as a GP, I'm so grateful for LPs like this. To founders too. It's how much conviction I have and how fast I can wire the money. Do not torture your founders. So Fund 3, the Anchor LP, is a public traded company. Pain in the butt. However, I'm so grateful because every 3 months you have the financial audit. Because this new fund Anchor I want to mention is, I have no idea where he came from. He reached out on LinkedIn. I know there's so many folks here just cornered me. Hey, Sophie, I LinkedIn you. Why didn't you respond back to me? I'm so sorry that I was traveling in Asia for a long time. And then anyway, so this LP reached out. I'm not gonna name who. He said, I've been following you for 7 years. I thought I like your thesis, so focused, but I thought I have the same deal flow as you do. That's why I never really invest in you. But now I see how focused you are and how sophisticated thesis has been developing. He said, can I be your GP? No, he said, I want to anchor your fund to unlock GP percentage.
That's it.
So we're negotiating that. I was like, this kind of really supportive, slightly creepy, but I never met him in person. That's the thing. So I wish I can give you an answer, but this is kind of
No, that was
long
amazing.
story about.
So-
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
story.
it's great story. I have a chapter in my book about the different types of LPs and what drives them. I think it's really important. Like my first year pitching, it was very thesis heavy, and like, this is the strategy that's going to make us money. No. Our biggest LPs, like, maybe that's a slight corner case, like probably an extreme, but yeah, our biggest LPs invested in Sabrina, my co-GP, and I because they trusted us because we spent time with them. And I'm talking like $2, $3, $5 million checks, right? Which is a lot for a $25 million fund. And it's really like the smaller checks and the SPV feeders and stuff that do a lot of crazy diligence on the market and stuff. But yeah, I mean, to your earlier point, people are investing in you as a person. They need to trust you. So what can you do to build that trust?
Let's stick with you, Simon. You hinted at manufacturing, and how's this current administration? From the regulations, is this the golden age of manufacturing? Is this hype? Are they helping early stage innovation in your sector?
One thing that we've done is we built a firm that has become more niche over time. And we certainly anticipated this wave last year. Like the writing was on the wall, even pre-Trump. But yes, what has happened is that Trump has caused many countries and nations to become more self-sufficient. Not just the U.S., Europe. Everyone is into this dynamism wave right now of investing in their own supply-based manufacturing base. And certainly, being a manufacturing tech fund, yes, we are riding that wave. Would we have been successful without it? I think so. I think we had chosen this path prior, but is it helping us? Abso-freaking-lutely, right? Like everyone from around the world is trying to invest in U.S. manufacturing. Like I can't say it more bluntly. Like I'm getting calls every day from LPs around the world saying, "Hey, we want to build a factory. We want to invest in robotics in the U.S. This or that," and there are no manufacturing tech funds. Yes,
Is it a policy?
We're working with LPs that are just they never work with fund once. Like it's nuts. I didn't expect this. This is, I think, due to the current
It's like the macro wins. But what about policy? Like if you could change your one piece of policy, what would that look like to unlock alpha?
To unlock alpha. I think the QSBS changes have also been really helpful. I don't know if you want to talk about that, or I can, but
yeah, talk about it.
So one of the main reasons why people invest in early stage venture is because it's tax free. Like there's no other word. There's like no taxes on gains. There's no capital gains.
At the federal level.
Sure. Thank you, Chris. In any case, we have a CPA in the room. What the changes that have happened this year have been beneficial. Like it used to be that you had to hold on to an asset for 5 years for it to be 100% capital gains free. Now it's a tiered effect. So if you exit, or if there's an exit after 3 or 5 years, 2, 3, 4 years, I think, you get partial capital gains deductions, which is great, especially for the current market where LPs are seeking faster liquidity. Like that's really the deal. We built this fund in the worst years in history, 23, 24, when there was no DPI, meaning LPs weren't getting any money back out of venture. And that's all they freaking cared about. It was like, how can you build me a fund that's going to return my money, hopefully 5 to 7x in 7 years, not 12. So that's what we did, right? And so certainly this policy helps.
Did you want to say anything about this, Sophie, or is this too sticky for you? All right, let's go to the next question.
I cannot comment on manufacturing. However, what I can comment is actually a lot of folks come to Silicon Valley thinking as long as my source code is solid, I don't need to care about policy, which is completely wrong. Especially, say, in my industry, fintech, is a lot of fintech innovation is a lot at mercy of financial and legal innovation. If there's no legal green light, there's no stablecoin, there's no Bitcoin, there's no, cross-border money remittance, there's no tokenizations, there's no, embedded liquidity pre-IPO, right? So I would say it's a wedge for GPs and founders to try to find the gap between reality and where the policy innovation is shaping us. So you can using that to find alpha, or at least find a macro trend.
We're going to ask 1 or 2 more questions, and we're going to open it up to you guys. So feel free to give them the hard-hitting questions. Is the VC industry broke? Has there been too much dumb money flowing into startups that should have never been funded? Come on.
Super broken. I mean, that's why I can kick off, and I'm sure Simon has something to comment on it. It's the reason that why I basically built one fund dedicated to provide the technology, invest in technology, provide alternative continuous liquidity solutions for private investing. Because we have too many tourist money, too much hot money, too much money that's chasing the hype versus
many followers, too many generalists.
Right. So you trapped so much money into this 10-year, now expanding to 12 to 15 years illiquid asset class. Guess who's hurting? The whole industry. First hurt founders, early stage founders and early stage GPs who actually want to do a good job, because it's so hard for us to raise money. Therefore, founders is really hard for them to raise. Sorry, yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, I appreciate the intention of the founders and the funders, but the top quartile VCs are returning 25%. Like that's not that great, especially with a longer time horizon. So like how can we fix
the top decile or top 5%?
Is that what you guys are? I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I mean that's exactly. VC is it's very distributed, right? It's not
break it down.
Invest in VC to get average returns.
Right. It's
Invest in VC to get top.
it's risk capital. So VCs, they find the horse, they help the horse run faster, then they sell the horse. Is that kind of essentially what you guys do?
So sure, but this is not the question you asked. But yes,
I was thinking
I think, you're asking questions like, oh, you still return money at the early stage. How does this industry broken? I am answering to the lens where, okay, if you see this industry from the Mars looking down, it's really broken because there's so much hot money coming in to dilute good capital. Therefore, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
What's the story? Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I want to add on that real quick. So yes, I think it's broken, but it's also just evolving, right? Like the LP landscape in VC has evolved. Now have sovereign wealth funds investing in VC, which wasn't happening at all 20 years ago. And what they're doing is they're trying to get their money diversified out of the stock market, not necessarily to get the alpha that venture capital was known for many years. They just want stable returns that are uncorrelated to the stock market. So that has led to mega funds. That's one thing that's kind of different, and you could argue broken, but you could argue that they're serving these mega LPs, and that's a product in itself that's getting low beta returns, right? No, low alpha, low beta, stable but low returns. The other thing that has happened is commoditization. There's just like so many VCs. If you go to any event in San Francisco, you're going to meet like 100 AI VCs that you won't be able to distinguish one from the other. I mean, it's like .com saying you're investing in web, right? Like it's not in itself differentiated. So yeah, I have a chapter on both of those things in my book. It's exciting, but with the SaaSification, one last thing, with the SaaSification in general, and like access to VC has caused not just 1,000 generalists, but specialists like us to be able to enter the industry without a long track record and a big team and expensive fund admin, because companies like Velvet, Carta, Velvet we're both investors in, as well as Sidecar and these guys who have SaaS platforms for fund admin or for people wanting to start up doing angel investing with SPVs. That's great.
All right, this is going to be the last question. We're going to open it up. Let's do story time. We're going to do story time with you guys. What's the one that got away, the company you passed on that turned out to be a rocket ship? And when you think about that missed opportunity, why? Why did you miss that opportunity?
Figuring out, I don't know. Do you want to go first?
I have 10 years of regrets. So there's a lot.
Give us number one.
Actually, I'll give you two. One company that I have about 100 portfolio right now. Seed to unicorn is 11. So I have a good hit rate. Seed to folding, 7. You could say I didn't take too much risk, but niche VC, we just know. When you know, you know. You don't really spray and pray. Out of the 11 unicorns, not every company that I would say I was super proud of, even though they gave me a big DPI, or like they returned me and my investors money. That I have lesson to learn is even if the company went IPO, I'm not going to name which one.
That's part of the question.
Part of the.
You want to name the company?
Can't.
Well, you better name the company.
I think it's a lot of lesson to learn is, I will actually start with another one. It's like, I think Ocean Protocol, which now became a really, large crypto marketplace. I passed, looking back, if you say, give me a time machine, go back, would I make the same decision? I would. But just looking back, I can't, so that's I didn't fundamentally believe that's necessary to the society. Therefore, my fund is 10 years. I'm in 10 years, I don't know if this company still exists. Yeah. But they did, so good for them. But also is a lesson for me to learn, yeah.
Simon.
I'm going to answer while not answering, unfortunately. But so I don't have as long a track record as Sophie, who've been investing for 3 years. And Fortunately or unfortunately, every single deal that we've offered a term sheet to we've gotten in. So that means,
Well, no, who has come to you that has been hugely successful that you said no to? Has that happened? That's the question.
3 years is
yeah, 3 like it's
So you're 100% A plus.
well, but like also I don't have any unicorn exits yet, like Sophie. So it's just like not enough track record time to necessarily answer that.
But I do think it was kind of so when we had Mike Maples Jr. on, whom picked somebody from the audience, they got to pitch the investor. That was kind of fun. Maybe we could do another one of those today. Does anybody have something they want to pitch?
Our generation, they struggle to invest money. So right now, a lot of people lose money on trading apps like Robinhood. And we just think that mutual funds and ETFs are the better bet for our generation. But the barrier to invest into this mutual fund and ETF industry is too high. So they all talk to financial planners, but they don't want to do that. And it's very expensive. So we built a Trojan horse, which is a social media platform, to put the ETF and mutual fund industry in front of Gen Z, to bridge traditional asset management with Gen Z. Thank you.
Are you a pre-seed startup?
Yes.
Nice.
So I'd love to talk to you later.
Maybe Sophie, because she's the niche VC that would identify this type of deal super early.
he's Simon's doing a great job pitching my fund.
If you
So-
start building software for manufacturing, you can call me up.
Not yet. Maybe 5 years.
Yeah, I would just like maybe 1 minute answer back to you. It's great to lure Gen Z to be more financially literate and savvy and responsible for their own life. In general, there's 4 things you could invest in, you could build in this category of investment tech, wealth tech. One is helping people get access to it. The Robinhood, the Angel List, the Coin List, the Republic, everything, right? Access. But access for different type of folks, looking for the folks that it's most that you can return and get traction for the first 3 months and 3 years, not long time horizon, because you have to survive as a startup. So if you build for institution capital, has access to a certain level, or retail, that's very different game, right? Access. Second is actually management, because when people invest, when Gen Z vibe code or vibe invest in something, you have to let them properly manage their portfolios. So management tools like fundraising, deal sourcing, due diligence, portfolio success, negotiating, fund admin, back office reporting, all of the software you could invest, you could build. And then the third layer that looking into is, okay, you get people access, you get people management tools. What's next? Liquidity providing solutions. So, like how do people exit from the ETF mutual? Is it through token? Is it fractional ownership? What's like from one CPA to another? How does the tax reporting? So that's the really interesting one to build today, because the private market really desperately needed liquidity for this market to be booming again. Last but least is today, post 2022 era, is AI co-pilot to make investment as seamless as if you're talking to your best friend as a CPA. So these 4 things, if you build one of these, and I'm happy to talk to you about. So yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right. It would be great to get your perspective on understanding how the landscape of VCs changed, because what I see as a founder, that it was big kind of downturn kind of right after COVID, and now it's returning back. But let me say like that, when we raised our seed round in 2018, so we raised like 5 mils, like with no due diligence, with no push deck. Yeah.
Wow, why doesn't make
Those
sense?
were good years, those ZERP years. Yeah. Now we have to show, thank you so much, you did it good, deep, and answered all the questions. So it would be great to understand what's dynamics there. So, like, is there money flowing back to the startups, and or VCs became much more serious, and right now even for pre-seed money we have due diligence of like 5 years old, Series A level.
Interesting. I mean, money is flowing again. I think versus 23, 24 when we started, there's definitely money flowing. LPs are deploying, I think more selectively for sure, but they are. And then there's this weird dynamic of like the mega funds being super well capitalized, which is another challenge for the industry. And I think we alluded to this earlier, just wanting to force a lot of startups to be capital intensive, which you may fall into this trap because you're a robotics startup. But certainly, yeah, the mega funds are just kind of pumping, kind of like foie gras ducks. So I don't want you to be a duck, but yeah. But on the counterpoint is what we are seeing, which is exciting, is we're seeing smaller teams, more nimble teams, building much faster. Obviously, you guys have all heard about vibe code and AI coding, and that's leading to deeply technical founders being able to build software for their particular area of expertise, which could be for a particular niche, and building very efficient vertical software and potentially, seed strapping their entire company. So we have, a couple of those in our portfolio that I think could very well seed strap, and that means they may never raise follow-on or later stage capital.
Your next question's right there.
Great segue. Hi, everyone. I'm Tanya Long. I am the Chief Investor Officer of K2X Capital. We are an early stage fund with 125 investments in 90 portfolio companies. And I see exactly what you see, the commoditization of the VC ranks. I see companies being in the future much, much smaller. We're going to have to really differentiate ourselves in order for founders to take money from us, if they take money at all. That was your final.
That's what I wrote a book about.
That's what you wrote a book about. So help the rest of us. What are you guys already planning to do or working toward to differentiate yourselves so people want to put their startup capital with you?
I think what do we do on a foundational level is why we got invited today. We're niche. So we don't spray and pray. We don't try to win every founder's heart because it's impossible to know, even be an expert in 2 different industries, let alone many. For me, operationally, is my portfolio construction reflects how I differentiate myself. Is every fund I invest in 30 portfolio. I only pick 1 or 2 on the right trajectory to become a unicorn, to double, triple, quadruple down. Die hard for them. Every single company that I die hard for become a unicorn, IPOs, and I join as a co-founder level without being called as a co-founder. I cannot make all the money in the world, but I can choose where I put my energy to have the best ROI return. And so every single round, even if the founder unlocks Sequoia Capital to lead a Series B, Series C, Sequoia come from, hey, who's this Sophie? Clean her off the cap table. The founder will fight hard for me. Say, hey, she's very monumental for us. Early stage, I want her to be in. So this is like, heart to founders, but you also, to position yourself in that, position, you have to strategically, 1, choose the category you can really shine and help, and 2, pick the right horse to grow together alongside with. 3, now we're entering new AI era. I actually have a question to ask for Dave later on, which is the future of early stage VC, because we see this founders, the best of class, probably only need to raise seed to Series A tops. They'll be able to generate so much cash, they don't need to raise money anymore. Now, what does it entail to us, right? That just means you don't need to compete with mega funds in the future anymore, possibly. 2, you need to really pay attention to liquidity providing solutions, because just because the company does not raise money, doesn't go IPO, stop going to IPO, doesn't mean you don't need money to return back to your fund. So as a fund manager, how do you really think strategically, where do I get DPI if that's the future we're entering?
Let's go here.
I think you can.
I agree, and maybe just much shorter, because I agree with most of what you said. I think there's just, to your point, you have to differentiate. Think about how to add value besides money, because money's become commoditized. It could be expertise. It could be just ultra focus, so you can get in earlier than others because you identify things ahead of the curve or see around corners. Or it could be insane network, like even some generalist funds. Chris from Blitzscaling, for example, a very good example. They have insane network effect. So and then it's also the nuance would be like, do you lead or follow? But that's maybe too much context for right now.
So the structure of venture capital itself is getting disrupted, right? The VC model itself. And first-time funds are getting even harder. Means unless you're a marquee and then you bring all kinds of platform technology, because GC is building companies through a search fund acquiring companies. So like a VC is kind of becoming like a PE, acquiring companies, launching their own products, launching their own companies, competing with their own portfolio. So in that shift of what does even founder mean at this point, particularly when the teams are so small in the AI first world, means I can hit $100 million revenue position, means maybe after the first check, I don't even need cash anymore, right? So where is the doubling down? Where is the multi-stage taking a position to the founder and the company? So what is the survival of the VC model in the next 5 years?
One of my favorite phrases that I'm going to steal from someone that I learned recently is like, we're doing what used to be called venture capital, and hopefully is going to, return. I almost called my book Unlocking Alpha the return of niche VC, because arguably all early venture capitalists were niche, and now there's sort of like most of what you're talking about is mega fund related, which is, yes, needs capital intensity. But not all startups will need capital intensity. Not all the smarter founders are realizing that they don't want to be diluted to oblivion. And, I can't count on one hand how many incredibly great founders have scaled, on two hands or four, have scaled startups to Series C or D and ended up with this much of their startup after raising hundreds of millions of dollars. Founders. Is that alignment of interests? It's like some serious agent principle challenges there.
How strict are you? Short answer here. How strict are you guys when it comes to staying in your own lane? Has there been a time where somebody's come to you and said, "Hey, we've been friends for a long time. I got this movie idea. I got this musical. Hook it up." That's what the account is for. Okay, so you're very strict.
For our fund, yes, we're very strict. But I do need to invest. I just invested in a fintech startup that is great.
And I may personally invest in some of the manufacturer software he betting on, but not from retirement, from main account.
Yes, this is nice.
I might.
Hi, my name is Tim. I'm famous because I'm friends with Christier, basically. Sophie, I'd like to ask you a question that's a little more on the personal side, because I was amazed when you shared that one of your demographics are for startups that come from traumatic upbringings. So that the attribute that you associated with them was resilience. Can you talk about how you interact with them throughout the process to understand, have they come to terms with that in terms of who they are as a person, or any other things you can share about holding space for them or your emotional experience with them would be very helpful.
Yeah, I really want to know how you ask founders if they've been traumatized as a child, because I agree entirely. I've come to this conclusion independently as well. But obviously it's not something you can ask.
I know. This is going to be very controversial.
Drink with the founders?
No, it's that's why I invest in Z-Biotics. No,
Great company. Not raising capital, unfortunately.
I feel very lucky that my first job, I produced TV shows. I was a TV show host. So as a TV show host, all you need to do is ask the right question so you can evoke truth or hold space for them so they want to share, even if you don't know what. Elon Musk has a quote, "The universe is the answer. What question do I ask?" I think that's how I feel whenever I meet a founder or even when I meet an LP. I cannot wait to be better and wiser and more diligent, more insightful enough to ask the right questions so the answer is already there. So that's one foundational layer. And I think I translate my TV show hosting skill to VC seamlessly. I feel lucky. I think that's a soft power of maybe being woman. We're more emotionally in tuned. And two is having a really alternative career, not a spin-off from a Sequoia, but coming from entertainment background. I think two is how do you get to that is mirroring. it's not a technique. It's when I meet people, I open up first. It's like I did not have a luxury upbringing. You know, I gone through losing family when I was a child. I gone through immigration pain. Everyone here, a lot of immigrants, and I gone through my fund got canceled. I've gone through, you know, having to take the blame of things I haven't done, but I have to take a lawsuit on my shoulder when I was 20 something. So you open up all these personal hurdles. I think people know, oh, this person is for real. It's not there to judge me. It's here to listen, to relate. I think that's a kind of like a superpower you can rise from, being resilient. So this is the kind of like how a little bit of stoic of me was thinking. One time I was meditating for 5 hours, 4 hours in, I saw what's equivalent of, say, God. And I'm gonna, you know, delete all those details. But one thing I ask, kind of communicate with the image in my head was like, why do you give me such hardship when I was a child, when I was a teenager, when I was, you know, moved here? And then my equivalent version of God answered me, like, you dumbass, because your God talks like you. It's like, you dumbass, if I didn't give you a little hardship before, you chose your life goal, this life, right? My job is to supervise you to reach your goal. If I didn't give you a little hardship, you're not going to develop the personality trait, the characteristic, the resilience to reach your goal. So therefore, every time I meet a founder and I sense there's a little pain, I always ask, what drives you? That's the question to ask. What drives you and why? What is the hardship you've gone through life to make you so obsessed with this tiny issue? You're trying to contribute to the society. You're crazy, you know? And what backs this, what fuels this madness? I think, you know, so it's like the unicorn founders, at least I would say 90% of them all have incredible, beautiful personal stories like this that I cannot wait to share. Yeah, anyway.
That's great. So
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hello. Hey, I'm Harsh. I work in AI and I have an AI-based question for you. So AI is disrupting all the industries. It's coming into VC world also. You talked about Copilot being coming up. I have a question. Let's say in future, in next 2 years, you have a Copilot running with you, and it tells, okay, this founder is not good. This is not the right deal to make. So how, as a VC, human in the loop coming to picture in the VC world, and you say, no, AI is wrong, but my intuition could be right to put money in there.
You understand the question or no?
I mean, okay, so we're assuming that, like, I don't quite understand the assumption, because right now I don't think we're anywhere close to that. Second of all, I think that there is a lot of kind of human nature and perseverance and like survival that I don't think is ever going to be picked up through recorded conversations, let's just say.
Hi, folks. I'm Harish, founder. We are currently in Foundation Capital Accelerator. We are building for our demo day in September. So we have a handful of customers, product ready, and rising for our pre-seed. So my question is, this is typically what we see, like they act on FOMO. So what's the driving FOMO these days? Is it AI, or is it like a niche or traction? Just want to get a sense of what's going on in VC's mind.
I mean, we don't invest off of FOMO. I would recommend you, if the question is how do you raise capital in the current environment, I'd recommend reading the book that I wanted to write, but then I realized it was already written. It's called Fundraising by Ryan Breslow. It's relationship-based fundraising over time, and it gives you a realistic expectation of how long it takes to raise and how to build relationships with capital allocators. There's elements of that in my book, but my book's not for founders, it's for VCs. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I think instead of you being driven by the market cycle of different versions of FOMO, I think it's based on who you are, what your product is, the iteration, the phase of the product, life cycle it is, to create your own FOMO. Because you cannot escape the game, but you can reinvent the game based on the existing game. So therefore, you're not bending your own soul
by leveraging it, so.
Yeah, I'm Leslie Lang, and I'm surprised this didn't come up, Simon. Are you wearing this ironically, or is this from the Blackberry fashion line from Nordstrom Rack?
Steve Jobs is
That's a very good question.
Simon's got his
So it is slightly ironic, but it is also a uniform that I've adopted because it works. Our LP base is not Silicon Valley. Our LPs are spread across 13 countries, 5 continents, etc. We have some here, maybe 1 or 2 in the room. But yeah, I mean, it's not Patagonia, it's Cotapachi.
I saw that.
This is my own designed hat, but it is black on black, so, I mean, yeah.
That's not a real question. Let's hear the real question.
So, until I find a boyfriend that's going to give me $8 million and I only have to see him once.
No, I'd rather have a boyfriend at this point.
Well, I'm single and I'm a Gemini, and I really want to unlock some alphas tonight. So if you're an alpha, you want to be unlocked, see me after the show.
Thank you, Leslie. All right, thank you everybody for joining us. For more of the best brains, check out siliconzombies.com. And for
And if anyone wants a drink on me, go to the bar and say my name if you remember it.
generous. Thank you, Simon. Awesome. Well, round of applause for these guys. Thank you so much. Until next time. Thank you, guys.